Hi, Mr. Conway. I'm Tim. This is Alex and Bobby.
Hello.
Hey. I just wanted to ask you some questions about your business because we're doing a story about it and you've got the right to reply and to clarify some things. So I don't know if you just want to stand here or that'd be cool.
Okay.
Alright. So we know you've got the correct papers, you know, to run a business and the employment certificate, but looking at some of the people who've spoken to us, it doesn't seem to add up, some of the proposals, and I'm wondering if you can explain the Las Vegas deal, you know, to us first. What it is.
You mean Las Vegas?
The employment,
You mean
yeah.
as hotel maids?
Yeah.
Well, we got to file the ETA 750 Part B in Part A offer of employment,
Yeah.
the 9089 application, and then rebuttal to the Department of Labor. When the Department of Labor comes, you know, send us a notice to our paralegals, immigration paralegals, they only got 3 days to rebuttal back.
Right.
And then that goes on for 2.5 years. 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And then the last 6 months, we gotta advertise that job available on the Department of Labor website.
Right. Do you charge a fee for that, a placement fee, or?
No. Everything is financed in Las Vegas. We don't charge any placement fee here whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, it says that right on the website. There's no placement fee.
But there's a membership fee. What's the difference, like, between the membership fee and what that gets you and the placement?
160 Hong Kong dollars we give on the Christmas party at Disneyland at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So that itself is quite expensive.
You said you've got 200,000 potentially going there, though.
No. There's about 25,000 ladies per day we can do. That's the max. If we can do them on Saturday, okay, but right now we're trying to schedule for Sundays.
Yeah.
Sundays only.
Did you book it for those key dates already?
No, I'm confirming that this coming week with Disneyland. Because we got to schedule how many is coming at a certain time, how many we can get in to the park, and how many we can get into the restaurants. Everything has to be simultaneously perfect. And then I submit my proposal to Disneyland for that purpose.
Do you have any guarantees they'll accept, you know, a large number like that on those dates? Or?
Well, right now we're just now starting advertising for the Christmas party.
Yeah.
So we don't know how many yet we're going to get, but we will know very soon. Then regarding for the Department of Labor, if the Department of Labor certifies the labor certification, the next step is that the paralegals has to file the I-140 through the immigration. That generally takes 6 months to 1 year. Then the WAC number comes back, we give them the WAC number.
And you act as, you're an agent? Employment agent, or?
Here?
Yeah, in Hong Kong.
We're licensed as a manpower agency, yes.
Right.
Yeah, our license is 44723.
Right.
Then my partner here, she's Hong Kong citizen.
Yeah.
Miranda So.
All right.
So the manpower license she had applied for herself.
I saw it's legit, yeah. Did you have, how many ladies have you sent over so far?
On our website, it's very clearly stated that we don't work for the U.S. government. We cannot guarantee any employment visa.
Yeah.
How many ladies in the past has gone, say from India or the Philippines as nurses? There has been many to go. Yeah. But for that process, that is up to the American Embassy to issue them the visas.
Right. So you're saying there hasn't actually been, for your agency, any who've arrived in Las Vegas yet because of the length of time?
Oh no, we just started that project. Yeah. Just about a couple months ago. We just started that.
Okay.
Because the hotels in Las Vegas, they were hiring ladies from Mexico. They were undocumented. Yeah. So a lot of the hotels there were getting fined pretty heavy.
Is membership or any of the fees refundable if they don't get a place? quite tricky?
Well, the 160 Hong Kong dollars that they pay each month, they get internet access. They come to our weekend parties.
Yeah.
So basically, we spend. There's no profit in that whatsoever.
Right. What are the parties? Is this the KFC? I saw this page, yesterday.
Right.
You hold those each Sunday. Is it an effort to reach out to get more people into the membership pool, or?
Well, out of the 160, about 50 Hong Kong dollars is spent back on them for KFC.
Yeah.
So again, anytime that we see that we're making a little money, I try to spend it back on them, because I'm not here for a profit. I'm here to offer a good service to the.
How are you funding yourself then, if this isn't yet fruitful, and just your life in Hong Kong?
Well, I've got a friend in Beverly Hills that's worth $60 million.
All right.
He's 96 years old.
Jesus.
I've known him since 1971.
The other thing which stuck out was the raffle, the prizes compared to the ticket cost. You have to sell many tens of thousands to just meet the cash prize.
The raffles, we're not starting yet until I check on the government what's required by law here before we start that. I will know probably on that Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. Have you obtained a license for the lucky draw?
That's what I'm saying. On tomorrow or Tuesday, we're going to look into that, see what is required by the government.
Okay.
So I have to go to the business registration office with Miranda So tomorrow to find out detail by detail if anything is required.
So how many women have you got in processing at the moment as the membership to go to work in the US?
There's been about 30.
Yeah. And do you have to are you submitting them all together or one by one?
Oh no. I will go back to Las Vegas the next few weeks, and whatever numbers we have then I will contact the immigration bureau at that time to start.
See. And just about your identity, is Steve Austin Conway your original name? Is it your real name?
That is my name, my business name.
All right.
I've had since 1970.
Why did
I used to work with the Lawrence Road show, booking singers on the show. I grew up stuttering my words, so I could not say my real name properly. My best friend in school was Steve, so
What's your real name?
Yeah,
So your real name?
Well, who are you, by the way?
Well, I'm Tim, Alex, and Bobby, journalists. But I wonder if you could tell us more.
Are you from the U.S.?
No, I'm from Hong Kong. But could you tell us more about Earl Bagley?
Oh, so you know my other name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did you change it, though?
Why? Because in 1970, when I started the limousine business in Los Angeles, I used that name.
All right. Yeah. Are there any outstanding charges against you with the U.S. government?
No.
State Department?
No.
Have you any comment on your extradition from the Philippines last year?
Sure, we'll tell you that. What happened on that, they sent me back to the U.S. on a stupid case, and they were trying to say that my girlfriend Bambi was only 15. We produced in court that her birth certificate is 21, that she was born in 1992. So, years ago, in April 2002, that I was at my office in Beverly Hills. My friend came there and we was watching on the TV about a missing girl in San Diego.
Yeah.
Since he was a private investigator, he wanted to use my computer, which I said no problem. So he checked on child porn website, which I didn't even know those type of sites existed. So when that took place, he downloaded 6 images on my computer and printed it out and went down to San Diego and helped the FBI on that matter. So years later, when I was coming across the border from Canada, they searched my computer and found 2 things. One was pictures of Osama bin Laden dead, because he died on November 7, 2003. I was going to take those photos to the media. And then they found those 6 images of the child born. So then I was detained.
Did you know they were on there?
I did not. But the computer was mine.
So I don't understand. So there were 2 charges, the Filipino girlfriend issue, and that was separate to the computer issue.
Right.
So what was the extradition? Was it for one of those?
From the Philippines?
Yeah, last year.
That was based on, they said I was failure to register. Well, the fact remains is that I didn't have to register because I was outside and I had informed them that I'm outside the U.S.
Is this sex offenders register?
Right, exactly.
How often are you meant to sign on to that?
Once a year if I'm in the U.S. If I'm not in the U.S., then there's no requirement on that.
How did they extradite you then if you're not required to when you're abroad?
This guy named Alan, what's his last name? Alan, he's a U.S. Marshal that don't like me. And he filed a case in court, got me back there, and the judge saw the birth certificate of Bambi being born in 1992, not that she was 15. So that got resolved. Here to misleaders, domestic helpers, and a lot of them come to see me and don't pay, and they still come back, and I still offer the information to them. And then they come back to me and say, well, we paid $32,000 to an agent, she did this for no Canada. And then I try to help them get the money back. So, and I don't charge them for that either.
Okay, so anyway, what you're saying is that everything is legal and you're doing this whole thing just out of goodwill to help the people, right?
Well, it was Mother Teresa who asked me when I met her in August of 1990 in Los Angeles when I helped raise money to build orphanages. She asked me to get out of my limousine business and come to India to help the nurses. And I said, Mother Teresa, I know nothing about the immigration business. And she says, you shall learn.
When you get membership and you join, do you have to get other people to sign up?
No, they don't have to. No, it's not required that they do. No. If they want to, okay. But it's what they feel that they can do. Yeah. And I contacted actually several ladies this past week that hasn't come the last couple of months. I paid 3 months ago to offer their 160 back because they never signed the contract. And I say, look, you please come back. We got the 160 for you. You please come and collect it. But they don't show up. They don't call me. They don't show up.
You said that you were an advisor to the Hong Kong immigration department, right? What sort of
No.
You said that you're immigration advisor.
No, he advises others.
To the U.S. In other words, I advise on what petitions is required for them to work in the U.S. as an unskilled labor. If it's a certified nurse from their country, then it probably takes about 18 months for a process.
Do you know what the acceptance rate is roughly for the US?
Acceptance?
Yeah, how many actually? How many of the authorities? What percentage they accept to go and work in the US?
Well, here's how it goes, sir. Is that if the Department of Labor certifies a labor certification, I tell the ladies it doesn't guarantee their employment.
You don't know what rate roughly?
You know,
they're accepted.
Each one is an individual. As long as you're going through the whole legal process, I would say the chances would be really good for them, the job, without a problem. But still up to the visa officer at the American Embassy in their country to issue the visa or not. And that's exactly what we put on our website. We don't say, hey, we work with the U.S. government, we can guarantee this and that. No, absolutely not.
If once I apply in the U.S., how much do I get paid? How much do I get paid?
Right now, the domestically hotel maids are getting paid right around $12 US an hour. So in 4 years from now, it could be as much as $14 an hour. Then, once they're there, I help them with housing in Park Avenue, you know, the Northern Park Avenue, or Northern Park Way, rather, and Flamingo Road. And that area is a Filipino community. So if they put like 8 ladies in a 4-bedroom apartment, then they only have to pay like whatever it costs to share, like $125, $150 a month.
But I understand you pick them up by limousine, right? So how does it add up for you as the agency financially?
They stay in the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Like Bel Air Hotel.
Bel Air Hotel, yeah, so they stay there.
Well, when they go there, all the expenses that has occurred, they have to pay back plus whatever the bank rate interest is at that time. And they don't sign any loan contract here whatsoever. They don't sign until they're there. They're working there for 2 months. They're satisfied with the job, and then in their file would be all the expenses we had spent for the 4-year processing. Because we have to give them $2,000 US for their flight, for the medical examination, all of that before they even leave Hong Kong.
And that's taken out of their salary over a period, or is it
taken out? They just come to the office.
They pay themselves
and pay.
But just to be clear, you haven't managed to place anyone yet because it's in its infancy.
Not as a hotel maid yet. And the reason that a lot of them come to me and say, "Can you help us as domestic helpers?" I say no, because even in the U.S. it's the same as it is in Hong Kong. They're going to be treated and work like slaves, long hours. That's why I'm trying to help them to work as hotel maids, where they work only 8 hours, and if they want to work more hours, then they get paid for more hours.
Okay.
I just find it interesting, the fact that you're only charging the domestic workers this little amount of money, but you're providing this much services. You're providing flights to US, flights to the hometown for the...
It seems you'd make a loss.
Yeah, it seems you make a loss. Why do you want this business?
Well, I'm losing perhaps right now, or the way I look at it, that we're investing into their future. And there has been a few nurses in the past from India, from North India, that actually had gone to America. They're supposed to pay me back. They got married to an Indian fellow there and took out and pay us. So it's a gamble, yes. But those who benefit by it and do pay, and they're happy with their job, then I feel good about what I'm doing. I don't look about how much I can make. I look about what service I can offer in a very genuine way.
So at the end of the day, sorry, I'm a bit lost on this. At the end of the day, you're expecting the domestic workers to pay you some money when they really get a job in the US. You said that you're investing for the future. But do you mean that you...
In other words, once they're there, sir, and after they're working for 2 months, they're satisfied with their job, and then they see all the expenses that we spend on them in their file. And then I check with the bank as to the rate what it will cost us. And then they pay each month according to that.
I see. Approximately how much would that be?
It's just hard to say, whatever it cost us. Because an immigration paralegal cost me for one rebuttal over $250 US. Plus sending a rebuttal back to the Department of Labor by Federal Express mail, we got to pay for that too. That's an additional cost.
So anyway, the amount of money you spend on domestic workers, you're expecting them to pay you back gradually over a long period of time.
Yeah, we're period of 5 years.
And by no means am I challenging you on this, but this is stated on the contract, right? Is that stated on the contract? That they have to pay you back over a period of time? Is that, or is that just a
there's no loan contract here. There's no loan contract. They sign nothing about any type of loan here. Only once they're satisfied with all expenses incurred, then they sign. If they're not satisfied, they don't like their job, they have a round-trip ticket, they fly back to the country, they pay no money.
But then how can you ensure that they will pay you back the amount of money because you're not asking them to sign a contract with you?
Yeah, but you know, sometimes you gotta trust people, you gotta take them for their word. Some people will cheat you, some people will be honest. It's just a gamble, but you see, if I'm not here to help these people, they have nobody else.
Okay, I just have one last question, if I may. And again, I'm not challenging your business. I'm just, I've talked to some of my friends. They're interested, but they are suspicious. They have a little bit of doubt. You ensure
you please ask them if they want to come with me to the American Consul Office, ask them any question about the obligations. I have no problem whatsoever. I show them also, when I talk to them at seminars, the Department of Labor website, the U.S. immigration website, what's required. And I give them copies at my expense. I photocopy whatever information to help them. And I tell them, if these other agents are saying, we can send you to Canada, sign here, but I say to them, if they don't show you a proper obligation from the Department of Labor for Canada, don't sign.
Okay. Anyway, everything is legal, right? Because I have to tell them. So they can trust me.
If you would like to check with my business partner, Miranda So, I can take you to her office tomorrow. She doesn't have her office open on Sundays.
No, I just want to know from you that this is legal. Again, I'm not challenging you.
Yes, it is.
It is legal, right?
Yes. Our company is registered with the government. We've got the business registration. It's a corporation. And then we've got the manpower license. The manpower license doesn't really need for the U.S. It's required basically if we're bringing in workers from other countries to work in Hong Kong. But we still got the license nonetheless.
Oh, sorry, one more question.
Was that hard to get that? Was it a lot of work to get the manpower license?
Sir,
a lot of diligence?
I've helped the Department of Labor, the head office, for many years regarding agencies that overcharge the workers, and I would bring the workers to the head office in Kennard Road. So I was trying to help. Like it was about 3 months ago, there was a guy from America, was radical, over in Victoria Park. He was on with the media and all that. They're saying, down with Hong Kong government, they're abusing, they're allowing the workers to be abused. So I came on the media and said, look, I'm here in support of the government. And says, it's the workers who needs the correct information. They have the right to go to the Department of Labor to file their complaints. And if they want me to help them, I'm available.
My own final question, if I can ask, you say the business isn't viable, profitable at the moment, and you're hoping to grow yourself. How many would you need membership for it to become profitable for yourself and for the business to get to break even?
Break even. That is a very good question.
Tens, hundreds, thousands, or?
Well, no. To break even, I never really calculated that. That's never been my concern on looking at the profits. I'm looking at what I should do next by going back to Las Vegas the next few weeks and start processing that little bit of few applications we've got and get those going, and then we'll see where we're at.
I've seen your business registration though, but I understand you have to submit a business plan to them which can show, that the turnover works. So Was there a different plan put in with the government as to what you're actually doing, or?
We had to do that with my partner when we opened up the bank account.
All right.
The business bank account. We had a tough time opening that account. We had to show the business plan. We had to show everything. And then when we finally got the business bank account open, and
We don't take any more time, but thanks very much.